Hi there again, it's me everybody, Dracula's daughter. We've been dragged backwards through a hedge, as you can see. The fringe is still there, it's growing a little bit. I look like, I don't know, I look like a Mormon monk or something, I don't know. Look at the state of it. But anyway, so I dyed my hair, as you can see. Hope you're all okay, and I hope you know, everything is positive and everything is good for you. If not, if there's people out there that are not giving you positive vibes and not being positive, then just get rid and wash your hands on them, because you don't need any negativity in your life. We are our own worst enemies, and we do tend to drag ourselves down anyway, so we don't need anyone else to do it. There's enough people out there that are willing to drag us down, so why should we drag ourselves down? But anyway, so like I said, I hope you're all okay. Today I'm just talking about nonsense again, just me and listening to my own voice, I suppose, and sharing it all with you, bless you. As you know, my cat died about 3 weeks ago, which still hurts really, really badly, and of course every morning Simbi, which you've seen on camera, my big wolf dog, there he is, they're just saying hello there, yeah, there you go, saying hello again there. Every morning he runs into, either out on the patio or into the lounge looking for the cat, and does this little whining noise because he's not around, because every time I do something he just goes up to the cat and you know, mithers him and everything, but of course he can't do that anymore, so every morning it upsets me time and time again. So he's got a cardboard box now. No, I can't take that back now, can I, Simba? No. But anyway, even if I wanted to. But anyway, so yes, so it's been a difficult time. That's another reason why I haven't been on here really, and I'm supposed to be doing my criminology course as well, and at the moment I don't feel like it. The only thing I'm doing at the moment to help me with all this is decorating. The hallway is nearly finished now, so I've only got to do the woodwork, 3 or 4 coats, and then another coat on the wall and the ceiling, and it'll be done. So it's about another day and a half's work will be done. Then I'll be tackling the bedroom or the bathroom. I've got paint for the bedroom, bathroom, and the kitchen, so I'll be doing all them. And then I'll give you a little tour. I'm going to do the flooring as well. The flooring is down in the hallway, but it's just plain black, so I might do something with it. I've got some acrylic paints, so I might do some like marble effect or something like that, or do like a collage or something. I don't know yet. It's just one of those things. It's just decorating the walls and the woodwork. That's the main priority at the moment, so doing all that. Then the lounge is just so huge, and I'm just going to do it one wall at a time, so I've decided to do. But anyway, so that's enough about me. What have you got to say about me? No, but honestly, I have to say this now. I was watching something on online through Facebook. You know, those Facebook things, and you get little Facebook watch things, and you go through there, and there's a video there. There's this woman, you know, I can't remember her name now, but she's talking, you know, so that she does make sense about stuff. But what she talked about, and I've talked about this person, and I'm saying person, I've been lambasted for saying that this person is not trans, does not represent the trans community, and therefore I don't see them as trans, and I'm using the word them. They are using trans as a way of being predatory towards younger females, and that's what this person is doing, and I've spoken about it a few times. The person's surname is Yaniv, and they're living in Canada, and of course the Canadian laws there, you can just go online, fill in one simple form, say that fine, I want to change my gender from male to female, female to male, and you don't have to have any doctor's notes, you don't have to have a letter from your GP, you don't have to be on any kind of medication or hormones beforehand. Anyone can do it, and that's what scares me the most. It is one thing getting your gender identity certificate through a much easier way than it is now. You have to jump through hoops, and you're not allowed to send too much paperwork and not enough paperwork. You're just right, and you don't know how, you know, they don't tell you what's just right and what's not, blah, 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 whatever like that. So it's just really weird. But anyway, so but what they're trying to do here is get it so much easier they can just literally just do it online, which I think is wrong, totally wrong, because it can open it up to any predator, and that is the case with that one person in Canada. That's the one person that we know of that is doing it. Most probably there are many others, because I do know of a couple. I've said this before. I do know a couple of people that change gender in order to Zina, stop it. Thank you. In order to get away from being pedophiles, and it didn't stop them at all. If anything, that made them think that that what they'd done in their past before they transitioned wouldn't affect them after they transitioned. But at the end of the day, a predator is a predator, and no amount of surgery, apart from a lobotomy, will change that. And people saying about medically castrating the male pedophiles, for instance. Personally, I don't think that will change, because taking hormones from male to female, taking HRT, renders you infertile and castrates the males, and you can't have children. So and it doesn't stop it, because well, it just doesn't. And this person, Yaniv, what's best to describe them? I don't know. Best way to describe them. A predator, I think. I've spoken about them before, and I can't remember where I was going with that. But anyway, so and they're just pushing the laws, the human rights laws, to the max, to the brink of how they can go. One company has closed because they couldn't afford to go to court. Pay the court costs, just in case they lost, and pay the lawyers' fees. But they won anyway. The Human Rights Committee decided that you cannot force somebody to touch your genitalia, and this is where I hate it when it happens, because it gives all trans people a bad name, and that's I've just got it now. And there's this woman, an American woman that I was watching. I can't remember her name, but she was on there, and she was talking about this person, Yaniv, and what they've done. And it was posted in October last year. And it's one of those watch videos on Facebook. But anyway, so basically what she was saying, and I sent her, she hasn't got back to me. It was a nice note. I just said, look, not all trans people are like this. And she was talking about this is a biological woman, biological female. She was born female. She's happy the way she is, and she's very feminine. She was naked, long blonde hair. She looks really sweet and cute and everything. And but this is what she was saying, and I do agree with her. What are you doing? And the agreement is, it's okay, Zena, just have to have a roll around somewhere there, but there you go. Somebody for me, please. And she was saying about this Yaniv person and the trans ideology, and what they want, instead of wanting respect and everything like that. They're demanding changes in law that makes trans women be seen as biological women. And case in point is this Yaniv person that pushing it. The agenda, the trans agenda, is to be treated as biological women and biological females even before surgery. Say, for instance, like even non-op or pre-op trans women. That's fine. The face of it, that's fine. But going into a female-only spa that will only do female anatomy and only trained to do that, you can't expect them to do the male anatomy that is down there. Even though they all come out and say, some men have periods and women have, trans men have periods and women have whatever. But we are trans women, and we should be proud of that. We shouldn't have to. And this is where I am totally against the trans agenda, the trans ideology about treating us exactly the same as biological women. treat me as a human being, treat me as a person. If you don't want to see me as a biological woman, that's fine, because I'm not a biological woman. I wasn't born female. I might have been born with some female traits, but definitely was not born female, and I will never have periods, and I will never need to use a tampon, and it doesn't matter how many trans women tell you that they do need tampons or towels, they don't. The first few months after surgery, if you have surgery done, then you will do it, because there can be some problems, and you need to wear a pad for about 2 to 3 months, just in case of any leakage and everything, but that's by and by, that's part of it all. But apart from that, no. No matter what they say. There was a thing years ago about carrying a pad or a tampon in your bag. So if anybody, if a biological woman does ask for a pad or a tampon, they have it in your bag, then they'll see you as a biological woman, which I think is just silly. Just be proud of who you are. I'm proud of who I am. I'm a trans woman. I don't want to negate anything that biological women have gone through in their lives, because it's not my place to do that. The fight that biological women have gone through for generations and for generations and generations, just to get to where they are today, it's not down to me to negate that and to say, right, fine, I'm jumping aboard that train because I am now a woman. I'm a trans woman, I'm a tranny, and the people that take offence with my calling myself a tranny is biological women, and I'll say to you, that's how you see me as anyway. If you are trying to explain, trying to describe me to someone, you say, oh, that tall tranny with red hair, that's fine by me. I don't mind at all. So I don't want you to think that I'm trying to negate what biological women have gone through, and this is where the trans agenda, the trans ideology really gets to be, because that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to educate, they're not trying to help and everything. They are forcing these things, demanding acceptance, demanding to be treated the same as biological women, but we can't be, because especially for medical things, medically, I was told years ago when my ex-husband and I went to see about life insurance, and I was saying, I'm starting, the hormone treatment, and the woman said, she said, no, leave until after you've finished transitioning. She said, because then I'll put you down as a woman, blah blah blah, whatever like that. And she said, she said, and that will be, she said, and your monthly premium will be lower than your ex-husband's. And I said, why? She said, on average, women live about 8 years longer than men. And she said that about women. She didn't say about trans women. And I was quite surprised, because I'm not biologically a woman. I'm not biologically female. So I don't know if that means that I'm going to live longer life because I am trans. I don't know. But hey, just one of those things, isn't it? But treat me as a human being, treat me as a person, but don't think that I'm out there trying to negate anything that our ancestors and the suffragettes and all the biological women that have fought tooth and nail through life and death to get to where women are today. I am a trans woman. I'm proud to be a trans woman. I'm proud to be a part of a community, local community, and I'm glad to be part of society in general. I am happy. I am happy with me. What I'm not happy with is I'm not saying that not all trans people are like this, and I've got to say this right now. Not all trans people are like this, and I can tell you for a fact that I've had so many trans women say to me that they... Oh, look at my screwdriver. In the shower. Anyway, sorry. Talking about saying that they think the way that I do. They believe in the things that I say, but they have to keep it quiet in case they might offend somebody online. And you can't live your life like that. You really can't. You be who you are, and if people do get offended, then they're not worth your time. They're not worth your breath, not worth your energy, nothing. You just say, okay, it's a difference of opinion, and You know, so we are all unique in that way. We all think differently about things. But what I just don't get is when people say that deep down that they do feel and think the same as I do about trans issues, but they're not going to say anything just in case they might offend somebody. And this is a case as well with a friend of mine who came to me once about her son, telling her that he was trans, and I'm okay. I am using the pronoun he because he hasn't even started transitioning yet, and I don't know if he will or not. Personally, I don't think so. Personally, I think he's just personally, I don't think he is. You know, so if he is, all well and good, and if he isn't, all well and good. And I've spoken about this before, and his mother said to me, she said, I went online straight away, she said, to learn about it all, and that's one of the reasons why I started doing these videos, believe it or not. And she said that the attitude of other trans people, especially trans women, towards her, because she wasn't trans herself, and she knew nothing about being trans and everything, blah, 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 and whatnot. You know, the whole thing. Oh, you know nothing about being trans, you know nothing about being this, you know nothing about being that. But they know everything about being a human being and having, you know, so enough respect to help people. And that's the reason why I do these videos. Well, if they help, they help. If they don't, they don't, isn't it? So, but anyways, and the mother, she was talking to me about it one day, and I said to her, I said, how did you feel? I said, I bet you were so upset and angry. Oh, no. She was like that, and I knew straight away that she was lying to me because I'm her friend, and she didn't want to offend me, and I said, look, I said, I know. I said, don't worry. I said, I do know. I said, you would have broken your heart. I said, because you know, that's your child, and for them to turn around and say at the age of 30, 40, to turn around and say, oh look, I'm so sorry, mother, but I'm a girl. I've always wanted to be a girl. I'm female. Blah blah blah, and I'm going to start transitioning. And you have to and you have to call me by this name from now on. Now. You know, so all parents, all mothers that I know that this has happened to them, they turn around and say, oh no, I'm fine with it. But I know deep down they're not, because it doesn't matter how old your child is. If you brought them up in a certain way, a certain gender, and they tell you that they are trans, that's heartbreaking, because the child you brought up until that moment, you don't even know them. You don't really, or you think you don't know them, but they are still your child. They're still the same person, but they've just opened up to you about how they're feeling. And like with my friend, I said to her, I said, but you're really upset. Oh, no, it didn't upset me at all. And I said, oh, come on. And then I got it out of her, finally got it out of her. And she said, do you know what? She said, Tony, she said, it broke my heart. She said, because that's my boy. She said, I carried him for 9 months in my stomach. And she said, and then after so many decades of seeing him as a boy and having tattoos with him and everything, you know, so, and getting close to his girlfriend and whatever, and then one day he just turns around and says, oh, Mum, I'm trans, and you have to call me by this name now. And it did break her heart, because, like she said, you know, sort of, that's her son, and that's who she gave birth to, and to turn around and find out that they are not happy by being who they are is heartbreaking. And of course, all these things. What she said to me when I finally said to her, "Look, it's okay. She said that she burst into tears, and she was so upset she burst into tears, because she said it's like somebody dying. She said it's like finding out that somebody's died. She said it's the grief. She said, but there's no funeral. She said there's no ending to it. She said there's no saying goodbye to that person, you know, via a funeral and burying them, because that person is still there, but in a different gender, and you have to see them in a different way, and it's really, really difficult. And do you know, I'm just going round in circles, aren't I? Well, anyway, so and that's why I do these videos, is actually turn around and say, no, it is okay to feel like that. It is okay to doubt and you know, question and feel angry and upset and grief and everything like that. But we all get tarred by the same brush from the trans agenda that want everything to to be for them and about them and negate everything else that's happened before them. And I think that is wrong, because the fights and the battles that each and every gender, and I see trans as another gender. That's how I see trans. I don't see myself as a biological female, so nor a biological male. So therefore, I must be another gender, a transgender. So in between. So that's what I am, and I'm fine with that, and I'm happy with that. You can call me Arthur or Martha. It's entirely up to you. But what I'm saying is, the trans agenda does not mean that all trans people want to negate every single fight, every single battle, every single war that each gender have been through to get to where they are today. And this is how I feel the trans agenda is pushing for. Is basically telling us that, right, fine, no prejudice, no transphobia and everything, and pushing and pushing and pushing the agenda, and not learning from society as a whole to find out what society would be happy with. It's just ridiculous, because it is a two-way street. If you want respect, you should give respect, and by not giving respect, you don't deserve respect back. And that's why I think that the very few of the trans community that's pushing the agenda are doing. I think they're turning it into a political thing and not a genderist thing, and that's where the lines are blurred, and very, very, very blurred, and in fact you can't see the line anymore, because the trans agenda has become very political, and it was the same with the gay agenda in the 80s and the 90s. Now it's the trans agenda, and well, what will it be in 10 years' time? I don't know. I don't know. It will be in about 10 years' time. But things are better. But the reason why things are better is from people who have been fighting for us in the background without making too much noise, to just turn around and say, yes, okay, no, that's fine. We will sit down. We will discuss it. We will sort this out in an adult fashion. And instead of being childish and stamping your foot and everything, no, I want, but you're not going to get it. And the people that have fought before that to get to where we are today, by not being in the limelight, by not having wanting recognition, they are the brave ones. They are the heroes of the trans, the LGBTQ plus community, because they have fought in the background without making noise, without upsetting society like it is happening at the moment. Society is very upset because all these changes are happening all at once, and the changes aren't doing via education, they're doing via forcing it, and that is just totally wrong. And what we need to do, we need to take a step back and sit down and start listening to each other and just say, okay, fine, you're not comfortable with that at the moment, okay, we'll just go slowly, and slowly catch your monkey, as they say. So I know somebody's saying, oh, that's derogatory, that's a racist, and blah, 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 but it's not. Okay, so it's basically saying that, don't rush into things. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread, most probably. And this is where the damage gets done, is by the very, very the very few are pushing and demanding for the many. Or they'd like to think that they're doing it for the many, whereas they're just doing it for their own agenda. And this is where we need to understand, is the fact that they're doing it for their own agenda. Really, 9 times out of 10, they go for what they want. They don't listen to the majority, and this is why it's gone totally political. It's the fact that they don't listen to the majority, and no political party do. They say that they'll listen to the constituents, blah, 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 but they don't. Most of the time they don't. And this is what's happening with the trans community, is the fact that they're not listening to the other trans people. They're not listening to community at large. They're not listening to society at large. They're so blinkered in what they want that they can't see the wood for the trees. It's like, right, this is what we want now. And of course, society is going to dig its heels and say, no. And I don't blame society. I really don't. Sitting down and having having a chat, talking, having meetings and things. That is the best way to do it, and learning from each other. And this is what I'm trying to do on here, is just to turn around and say, yes, I am a bitch. Yes, I am a witch. Yes, I am an awful person. But I'm not one of those that run around wanting to be treated differently because I'm trans. I want to be treated as a human being. I've been told so many times that I have to be treated a different way now because I'm trans. No, you still treat me the same way. Regardless, gender should never come into the way you're treated in society. And you know, and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, people are going to push back, and they are going to deny what you're pushing for, you know, especially what you're demanding. And respect goes both ways. And I feel that the very few trans people that are pushing and pushing and demanding are doing it for their own benefits, to make them feel good because they don't feel happy within themselves. Personally, that's how I see it anyway. I might be wrong, and if anybody thinks I am wrong, please let me know. But I do think I'm not in the wrong by saying that pushing and demanding things from society is the best way to go, because it isn't. Never has been, never will be. The only good way to do is just sitting down and having discussions, having talks, and that's not happening, is it? So, you know, so the very few are making it really hard for the many, and it is a sad thing, because people think, like that woman I was talking about earlier, people think that that all trans are activists, and all trans want this and all trans want the same, and I don't. I don't want to be treated like a biological woman. I want to be treated as a person. If you see me as a woman, then treat me as a woman. If you don't, you don't. Simple as. Just treat me as a person. You know, gender shouldn't come into it. The only time gender should come into it is medically. Then they have to know my history, my biological history, and that's where the confusion is, because there are some cancers that biological women get, biological men can't. So as a trans woman, I won't, most probably won't. And there are other, I still have my prostate, so I should have my prostate checked every 5 years, and I haven't. And of course, biological women don't have prostates, only trans women have. And you know, what the hormones have done hasn't got rid of the prostate, it's shrunk it, it hasn't got rid of it, it's still there. Things like that, stuff like that, doctors need to know about. So I'm not going to go into a hospital if I have, say, for instance, if I have an enlarged prostate and say, oh, I am female, I am biological woman, so I need to be treated as such. Because medically and biologically I'm still male, and I'm being treated as, well, as trans, basically, will help me medically in things that might affect me. I might have some cancers or some illnesses that affect both men and women, and I get them, and I might get some illnesses that only affect men, and the sooner that the GP or the hospital know my history and my original biology, my biology, not original, but still the same. I am still the same biologically. What I've had done is plastic surgery, basically, down there. That's what it is. It is an open wound, and that's another thing we'll talk about again next time. And but anyway, so I'm going to go with this now because I'm waffling on, but that woman is basically saying, and she was carping on about the trans agenda, going, the trans agenda wants to negate what biological women have fought for centuries to get to where they are today. No, not, well, I'm not talking about the whole trans community. I'm talking about myself and the trans people that I know. We don't want to negate what biological women have had to fight for to get where they are today. Trans people have their own fight to deal with, and that's where we should concentrate our actions. Maybe is to make it easier for the next generations to get to where I've got to today. make it easier, but not easy, if you know what I mean. Still go through the hoops of 3 years, 2 to 3 years of psychiatrists and psychologists and everything like that to, you know, so to actually make sure that you are who you say you are, that you are transgender and everything, and not just something else. And yes, so anyway, so I'm waffling on again now, and it's all over 30 minutes. So I shall speak to you soon, and the next video will be more about this, I think, because it is a hot topic and it's very contentious, and I don't agree with most of what the trans community and the trans agenda is all about, because it is wrong. I think it is wrong because it shows that the trans activists glossing over what biological women have had to fight for centuries to get to. And I think it is wrong to do that. We have our own fight in society to be dealt with, and that's where we should concentrate, is to get more acceptance in society as a trans person, not as a woman, not as a man, but as a trans person. And I feel that the sooner they accept the fact that they are trans, and that the society at large will accept us as being trans, as long as we are open and not scared about what society thinks about us, then that fights would be won, because I don't care. I really don't care if people know I was born a boy. Yes, shock horror to you people, I was born a boy. Yes, there was a boy. That was me. A very strange, enchanting boy. That was me. Yes, the Simba's come over and ask me, oh, shut up, Mummy, don't sing. But anyway, so nice to speak to you soon, and I will endeavour to. Oh, bit of grey paint there. The hallway and the woodwork is grey, which is going to be lovely, and with copper bits and pieces, and the floor's black at the moment. I do marble effect. I don't know. But anyway, so speak to you soon, and thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please share. Thank you, Simba. Simba's come over to say goodbye as well. You say bye-bye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. There we go. There he is, saying goodbye to everybody. Say, there's Simba boy. Yes, there you go. All right then. Thank you. Goodbye.